Now, I didn't know whether to release this video or not. I think for a couple of reasons. One, it's kind of like I realised, well, it's about feeling really detached from reality, feeling rejected by reality, by systems, not fitting into systems. So I think it could be really useful for people who are at that moment not feeling like they fit in. But I don't feel that way now. So the video is like the end of me coming out of that phase, which is why it might be useful, because it shows the period where things start to shift, right, in inner consciousness. It might not be useful, and I don't know, and I don't care. Because where I am now, and as soon as I say it, I'm disrupting it. So I almost don't want to say it, right? I'm in the perfect position to make this introduction precisely because I don't believe anything. Because if I know anything, if I claim anything, if I claim any kind of certainty, I've just created a trap for myself, right? I'm then claiming I know something, so I've created a fragility and I've limited myself. But reality is limitless. Experience is limitless. It's not bound. So when you feel empty, this is why emptiness is so rich. Because when you feel profound emptiness, if you can come to accept that, you realize that emptiness is full. Because emptiness has no imprisoning beliefs. Emptiness is entirely free from dogma. Emptiness is a position where you can sit and you can say, well, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. And can you ever be more certain than that? You can't. That's almost like paradoxically the ultimate type of certainty is having no certainty in anything. So it's freeing. It's freeing. It's really freeing. So I'm glad to be here now. You know, it's great. But the video, if you watch the video, I still think it could be useful for people. But then that raises sort of the second point, which is I released part one, and as soon as you put a part one on something, you kind of create this expectation, don't you? It's like, oh, there's going to be a part two. And then it's like, oh shit, now I need to think of something to say. And I kind of was treading this line. Look, do I show you something raw, like how I'm actually feeling? Or do I wait till I've got some like insight and share that? But the truth is, like, I want to show you what the truth is. My truth. Like, I don't know if this applies to anyone else, but that I had my grand awakening experience when I was ill. And then I've been in a spiral of like deepening experience, return to where I am now, which is kind of like a certain freedom and lightness. But then I have to go back into the real world, right? And it's not like I'm going back into the real world. It's like this change is a spiral, okay? So it's a spiral that, and I won't say I believe this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I think it might be true. We're all unfolding, right? We're all undergoing this spiral, whether we like it or not, whether we intend to do this or not. That's growth itself. That's what it is. So if you can see that happen to someone, you can happen to me. It might help, but I don't know. I don't know if it helps anybody, to be honest. I just don't know. So that's kind of the caveat, I suppose, for this video. And by the end of that video, I'm doing like this meditation, a somatic meditation in the end, which can be really powerful. But I'm in my own internal state by that point. I'm already transitioning to this guy. Like, I'm thinking, this is pointless. Like, what's the point of doing this meditation? Like, and you might think that, again, that doesn't dismiss the benefits and the beauty of meditation. It shows you that there is a state you can reach where you realize that seeking behavior itself is a kind of sleep that you can wake up from. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to let you see this and let it be unresolved. Let it be weird. But let me know, I don't know how we move forward with this. If there's anything like you want me to talk about, because I've had some really deep insights, such as the nature of fear, the nature of, I've witnessed someone's psyche collapsing and breaking apart. So it's not, yeah. So I can describe that in detail, and that sort of anatomy or descent into mind with a torch might be useful to people, but I don't know. I don't know if it's useful to people or not. So I suppose I'm just turning it around now and saying I'm not going to be the one who comes up with like what I'm going to talk about, unless I decide I do. I might change my mind, right? But it'd be useful for me to know, if anyone finds this useful, let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll try. I don't even know if I can help. But like, I suppose that's the weirdness of this whole thing, isn't it? It's like this kind of thing that if we're going to do it together, I don't know how we do it together. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to put it out there. Let it be like this. Let it be uncertain. Let it be weird. Let it be wild. And let's see what happens. I know what it feels like to feel unseen. I know what it feels like to feel disharmony. I have ran away from it. In the past, I've ran away from it. But I run away no more. What you feel, a sense of rejection, a sense of disharmony, a sense of not being seen by a world that is composed of systems, of roles, is not a deficiency, is not a deficit. It is a strength. It is the truth. You feel disharmony because the world is in disharmony. You feel disharmony because the world is disharmonious. You feel at odds with the world because the world is at odds with itself. What you see in the world, the reflection of it, the pollution, the degradation, the crime, the cruelty, these are the reflections of the minds of the people in the world, not the people. Why is the river polluted? The river is polluted because of the sewage. This is in the UK. Because of the infrastructure? No. The river is polluted because of the rot at the top, the corruption, the greed, the lack of awareness, the short-termism. The river is a reflection of the minds of those people. It is a mirror, and is a mirror of society's mind. But what of your mind? What does it mean to not fit in? What does it mean to not belong? Belong to what? Belong to a world that pollutes its rivers? Why would you want to belong to that world? But you do want to belong, right? You need to belong, because belonging is human. That's why it's so painful when you do not. But the solution isn't escape. The solution isn't to numb yourself. That's what depression is at a deep level. It's an escape and a trap. But we'll talk about that in another video in depth, because it's very important. But people find all sorts of escapes. A role that they play. I'm good at my job. Aren't I valuable? You are. Until the system decides you're not. Until the company makes you redundant. Whenever our value comes from outside of ourselves, whenever value is contingent on usefulness, it is fragile. It is temporary. It is ephemeral. It exists only so much as you serve another. If you buy into that system, is it any wonder you will fall into disillusionment? Because the cracks will happen. Perhaps not. Perhaps you will experience life without the cracks. Perhaps it will seem rosy. Perhaps you're just oblivious. I've seen people who can't see the problems, unwilling to see the problems in society, and they're successful. They are very successful precisely because they are blind to them. It was Buckminster Fuller that said, and I'm paraphrasing, well-adjusted people that belong in a society, that fit well into a society, do not change that society. And that's the truth. So if you feel disharmony with the society, it is because that society is missing something. Is missing something that you need. And if you need it, you can bet that others need it too. Society wants you to change to fit them, to fit it, to fit us. Society wants you to say, there's something wrong with me. Why can't I tolerate the disharmony? Why can't I tolerate the structures? There must be something wrong with me, not the structures. Does that make sense? If the only way to survive the system is to betray yourself, what do you become? Do not betray yourself. Do not betray yourself. I'm here to tell you that. The pain you feel is not pain, it's fuel. The dissonance you feel is not anguish, it's truth. And if you want truth, you need to feel it. Even if it's painful. Especially if it's painful. So when I feel disharmony, I realize I have to make a video like this. I have to find the others. Find the others that see the issues, that see where we are and why we are failing, why we are collapsing, that see the cycles, that this has happened before and will happen again. Greed, power, lust, division, war. They're not inevitable. They're not inevitable, but they keep happening. Cycles on a large scale, like the cycles within ourselves. I don't feel like this every day. It comes in cycles. And every time it comes back, I feel like rejecting myself. But instead what happens now is I find myself again. And that is what I implore you to do. The next time you feel rejection, frustration, denial of self, hopelessness, emptiness, is to embrace those qualities and feel them for what they are. That it is not you that is the deficit. That you are feeling the contours of a sick society. So what to do with rage? What to do with frustration? Why does the system not listen? because it's not designed to. A role cannot listen. A role is not a person. A policy is not a person. A policy is not a mind. They are reducing agents. A role reduces the person, and it reduces you when you relate to a role. So why do we tolerate it? Why do we say, I accept the role you play. I accept the role I play. I reject it. I will play no role. I will play no role in this system other than that I assign to myself. And I'll play it consciously. What if that destroys me? Perhaps it will. But let it destroy me. Let it destroy me. Let it destroy me. I will not destroy myself. So this is a rallying cry to self, to radical self-acceptance. I want to feel joy. I want to experience joy in the world. I can do that. I can carve out an enclave. Perhaps I go to the river with my boat. Go down in a canoe. Experience some freedom and joy. But I can't pretend that reality is the way it is. I can't pretend where we are, because I will see it anyway. I will feel it, even if I avoid it. I don't look at the news. It seeps through. It seeps through and it demands a response. Not out of duty, not out of obligation, but because it's like when two forces intersect, one that cuts through illusion and a castle, a cathedral of illusion. What happens? I will cut through it. I will not cut through myself. I will walk through the illusion. I will not pretend the illusion is real and bump into it. Let the illusion crumble and let the self stand. My body needs me. Your body needs you. A strong mind is not enough. A mind that outpaces the body is a lost mind. A mind in harmony with the body is grounded. And together you can accomplish everything. Separated, you will constantly be at odds with yourself and your environment. So look after the body, care for the body, and find yourself again, and promise to yourself that you will look after yourself, that you will exercise your body, that you will take care of your environment, clean, make it tidy, sensual, calm for the mind, not with a whipping brush, not with a whip, but with kindness, because that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. And when you do this, when you look after the body, when you let that reflect into the environment and look after your environment, things will change. They will change. But they still might not listen. The world still might ignore you. That's okay. That's your burden for being different. That is the cost. It just means you see something that they don't. It just means that you have something that they need. So don't let it destroy you. Give them that gift anyway, for the gift is real. You are needed by the system as you, not as a role. So please be yourself. Thank you. Now, a thought came up when I was making that video that I don't know who watches these videos. I don't know how much pain someone is in. There could be people who will watch what I just said, which is meant to be empowering, but who turn that power outwards. So let me speak to those people. You're probably not one of those people. But these atrocities exist not because there are bad people. Atrocities exist because pain is allowed to grow unmetabolized in individuals, that society does not respond to the needs of its people. So let me speak directly to those among you who feel the pain so deeply you wish to make others feel it too. If you feel powerless, it is natural to not want to feel powerless, to not want to feel empty. So an obvious solution presents itself. I will make others feel powerless, and I will feel powerful. Then I am not feeling powerless, I am feeling powerful. Let others be the ones. Let others feel my wrath. And then I will not feel what I feel. It seems it's rational, isn't it? Really. It's a rational thought. But it won't work. Not only will you cause immense harm, which you will then later regret if you ever find yourself again, and it will block your path to love, it won't work. You won't save yourself by running in that direction. You will entrap yourself. You will entomb yourself in a prison of far greater alienation and isolation than you could possibly imagine right now, the thing that you're trying to escape. Because you will become so far from others that return is almost impossible. It's not impossible, but it will feel impossible, and most never return. So what do you do if you are holding a pain so deep that you feel the only thing to do is to let it explode because you cannot face it, that you feel you are not strong enough to hold it? Stop holding it. Don't just let go all at once, but stop holding it. So how do you stop holding pain? You have to let it bleed out of you, not literally, but emotionally. You have to feel it, not as anger, not as rage, but as grief. And you have to grieve its loss, because to let go of it means to let go of the illusion of control it serves. What is control? To control another means that the other has to be under control. So they have to feel like they are not in control of some aspect of their reality. So this is an inversion. And it's where power comes from. Power requires others to be powerless, or have less power at least. So this is an illusion. This is a game, a trap, where power requires, the existence of power over others requires their subjugation. That's the system that most people that feel rage are enraged at. So using that dynamic cannot fix that system. But letting go of power, letting go of control, can. How do we change the world without force, without power, without asserting ourselves upon others, upon systems, without destroying, without destruction? We invite others towards ourselves. We invite others into relation with ourselves. And we do that through love. But if you are one of those people that feels they cannot hold their pain any longer, please find help. If you feel you are at the end and you cannot hold your pain any longer, please find help. Any help that works. Because you are not broken, you are just carrying something too heavy for you to hold and not realizing it. You are carrying a burden you never asked for. But you took it on anyway. You chose to take it on. That's the truth. And you can put it back down if you wish to. That's also the truth. Okay, let's finish this now. I don't know if that was helpful to those that really carry the heaviest burdens among us. But I have to say something. I have to try. Because you matter more. You carry a pain so deep that if it can be transmuted into love, that would be a gift so radiant. That would be true power. Transformative power that amplifies others. That grows others instead of destruction. But we will look at this again when we ask the question, what is fear? And that's a deep one. So let's end this with a meditation, and I'm going to do something different this time. We're going to do something more somatic and try and follow awareness. So we'll start just by breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. We're going to breathe in consciously, controlling, but then let the breath go out through the nose and just sort of let it fall away. I'm going to let that smooth out a bit. Now we're going to let the mind focus on awareness. The point of awareness that exists behind the eyes, in the middle of the head, I guess, between the eyes, kind of between the nose, the triangle that makes up the eyes and the nose. Now imagine your awareness there. Well, don't imagine it. Feel your awareness there. Feel the shape of it. And breathe. Breathe out through the mouth. Now observe what happens to that point of awareness, or that field of awareness, as you breathe. Breathe slower through the nose. Find a rhythm of breath that works for you. It allows you to concentrate or unconcentrate on what the mind wants you to experience. Allow the spiral to uncoil. Allow yourself to unbecome. If you feel tension, let it grow as you breathe in, and let it go as you breathe out. What happens if you let awareness gather as you breathe in that point between the eyes? Wherever it is. Don't let me name it for you. Feel it yourself. What does trying do to that awareness? Does it make it stronger or does it dissolve it? What happens when you don't try? What happens if you just focus on what's there? What do I mean by focus? What if you unfocus on what's there? I'm going to end this now because I need to go and have some lunch. But you can continue to sit here if you want, of course. But what I mean is, the space where nothing happens is a space pregnant with possibility. Sit in it for as long as you need to. Return to it as often as you want. There's no goal. There's nothing to achieve. This is all there is. Right now, There is no future self. There is no past. There is only this right now. Whatever that is for you now, there's no need to contrast it with what you expect it to be, what you would like it to be, what you want to be. It only needs observation, and it will change by itself. You're not in control. But you are in control. That's the paradox. You're most in control when you're not. Because what is control? Control is an attempt to shape. And when you stop trying to shape, you are free. I laugh because the paradox is funny. Okay, thanks for listening.